I don't know. I guess I could probably put this in. It's not a big deal. I just learned recently. Okay. I got a lot of gamers on my friends list throughout like a lot of things. Specifically, I have some really big gamers on my Nintendo friend list, and like some pretty hardcore. They're gaming, but uh, do you know who my number one most played hours in Animal Crossing New Horizons, the newest one? What my
Yeah.
number one my friend with the top amount of hours played is?
Who dat?
You.
Yeah, that sounds right. Well, here's the thing. You're not friends with Katie Bear. Katie Bear's got me beat.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. Like I got people who play those games and most games just in general a lot, but I think you have most of them beat by like at least 100 hours, maybe more.
Well, I actually would be still playing it as much, but I'm afraid if I turn off Zelda, it'll update and make it so I can't do the cheat to get more like things where you hop down and drop stuff. Or the what is it? Some glitch or something.
To get more like bells or
No, in Zelda.
oh in
So
Zelda. Oh, I don't know anything about that.
the original release has this glitch where if you're falling and you pause and hold a bunch of items and then you drop them while you're falling, it multiplies them by however many you're holding. So you can just
Huh.
like get a stupid
So
amount of
just
diamonds.
duping.
Yep.
I wonder if you can play the game and just not update it. I feel like that's possible, but I don't know anything about Nintendo stuff. So yeah, I guess that's one of those things. Where you're gonna have to never turn it off.
Until I eventually get bored of it and I go back and they all make me feel bad about abandoning my town. I wonder how Fauna's doing. I should probably go back on my birthday at least so they can throw me a party. I'm very
Sure,
self-centered that way.
sure. Or for any of the big events, don't they do like seasonal events and stuff?
There'll probably be like fireworks day on Tuesday,
Tuesday.
next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
All right. Well, yeah. I thought I'd point that out. It's pretty big.
You're welcome.
Especially because for those who don't know, Daniel texts me sometimes is like, you're more of a gamer than anybody I know. And I'm like, I think you gotta say yourself. You're a gamer. You're a big time gamer.
I play like the same three forever. Like I've been playing Zelda since the day it came out. I've done like maybe a drop in the bucket because I just keep going up to see if I can get to the top of a mountain. And that's not really part of the game, but I want to get to the top. And
What
once
do you
I'm
mean
up
it's not
there,
part of the game? That's part of the game.
but like it doesn't advance the story at all.
That's not why people play games in 2023. Do you realize the type of games that I play on the regular? I play games where I'm quite literally brick by brick building a house. Like not a joke. I get the mortar, I mix up the sand and the concrete and the water and all this stuff, and I mix it and then I get it on a metal thing, and then I put it down, and then I put a brick on it, and then I put it down, and then I put a brick on it, one by one until the house is completed.
What game is this?
This one is called Landlord Super, and
Don't know why I asked. Of course it is.
you lose energy by doing stuff. It's based in like 19, I don't remember, many years ago. One of the English countries. And or English
England.
cities,
Oh,
one of the
okay.
English cities, and you're it's like the middle of pretty much one of their big depression eras. That's how they're making money. So you're building a house out of sometimes stolen stuff. You're stealing bricks from other people's houses. You're taking tools from people's backyards, and you're using that to build a house in which you can then rent out later. Yeah. Those are the kinds of games. Those are the kinds of games not only I play, but lots of people play. So you climbing up a mountain, it's pretty normal, man. It's pretty
Fair enough.
normal. You're gaming. A game was silly. Game is super silly.
I like that Katie's saying it's in 1980.
I mean, it feels weird because some of those cities do feel like they're just stuck in time. So it's possible that it's like 1980 or something like that. I thought it was earlier, but yeah. Anyway, it's produced by a group of YouTubers, and that I'm friends with as well. A couple of them I'm friends with, and Yeah, they just decided to make a silly game, and that they did. Welcome to a brand new episode of the 60-Second Car. This is minute 21, the podcast that covers all minutes. Every single actual individual minute that I've told my friends about, especially this weekend, that I've been doing, and they all think I'm crazy, of the Fast and the Furious and every single movie within the franchise, including the shorts and the spin-offs. My name is Dan. I'm joined as always by Daniel, and let's go into the theme song.
60-second
And we're back. Hello.
Oh, what a theme song.
What a theme song. We're back. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to minute 21, which is episode 22, but minute 21 of The Fast and the Furious.
Wow,
Are
this
you,
podcast
ready?
could drink or something. Yes, I'm ready. Let's do this. Nos or something.
Let's nos. It is one of those things where we were just talking about this kind of off air, and we're 7-ish weeks in and 21 minutes in for the episodes. I mean, you've done much longer podcasts than this, but for the most part, I don't think I've done too many that have gone further than this. And then you pointed out that it's like 3 a week, so it's like it's not as much, but it's still that's 7 weeks. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've not done something this consistent, I will say. Farbin Metal, I try to do every other week, and it doesn't always work out. There was a time when Blipcast was every week, and I think we quickly ran out of things to talk about, and then it was after we did stuff. So, yeah, this is a good relationship we have here. It feels good. We've got a good foundation.
You guys still how many episodes of Blipcast did you guys end up finishing?
With a handful of like movie things and like side episodes, maybe 90.
That's still quite a bit.
Yeah.
It went for a while though. I would say, like, 'cause like you said, it just kind of stopped, but you guys got back, a bunch of times, and it lasted years, man. That's a friendship right there.
I want to say 7 or 8. Yeah, but then now that friendship, like that podcast is over, so we had a good run.
We had a good run. You do what you got to do, and sometimes it just happens. But yeah, we're going to be talking about minute 21 of the Fast and the Furious, which is right in the middle of the race. The first race of the series. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right over to screenshots here. We're sparking it up, man. We're sparking.
Yeah, as we discussed last episode with now former guest Alvaro, the panel just kind of falls off for some reason and just shooting sparks. So many sparks.
So there's a bunch of pieces of this scene, and we'll probably point some out as we go, but there's a bunch of pieces of this scene where I mean, I know that it's like, early 2000s, but it's just the worst CGI that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It's pretty bad. The sparks seem to be pretty real for the most part, but some of these like long shots or some of the wide shots just feel, I mean, cartoony. It's weird. In fact, okay, so he does get real sparks out the back though. So whatever he's got going on, I don't know, this must be the whole reason that they did this, because from what I understand is blowing out the just floorboard in your car is not really a thing that's going to happen for the most part.
I feel like there should be more pieces than just a piece of metal and then a hole in the floor, right? Or maybe that's some mod he did where he replaced the floor and whatever's underneath it with just a piece of diamond plate metal.
So yeah, so like that also brings up the question, is the passengers where the passenger puts their feet, it's just metal? Is that where it comes from? It's just metal?
Yeah, I think so. No floor mats, nothing, just straight onto diamond plate.
Just no carpet, just right. All right, fine. Oh yeah, here we go. So we're driving along, we get this happens, and we go to this wide shot, which I think these are real cars that are overlaid of this CGI scene, but it looks like we're looking at a PlayStation 1 character in the background, which Dom is. Dom is played by what seems to be just this very low poly image back there. In fact, it feels like it doesn't even fit.
This looks like a Hot Wheels commercial.
Yeah, it pretty much is at this point. Let's see. Can I?
What you doing?
I'm gonna see if I can get the top of this. Yeah, there we go. So this whole thing is it's all like there's a few of these, there's a few cuts through. There's not. I mean, we're gonna be honest and be upfront here. There's not a whole lot to this minute because it's mostly just them driving in a car. But we have the cars that are put through, and I can't tell if these are miniature car versions of their cars themselves, or if they actually caught footage of them driving and then overlaid onto something weird that they just put these blur graphics. Because if you look at it, I mean, we might as well be in a dryer. like a clothing dryer that's just going off. It's almost like they took the producers of the Fast and the Furious, not the Fast and the Furious, Speed Racer, took this movie and said, how do we make it more modern?
What if this screenshot is the movie, and then get John Goodman?
Yeah, right. Oh, I forgot he was in that movie. Who played Speed Racer? Do you know?
I don't remember their name.
I don't either. But yeah, that was an interesting movie, and I feel like they have a lot in common. Emil Hirsch is I'm getting from the chat. Emil Hirsch, which makes sense. It's all done with green screen. Yeah, I can't tell. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, we have this weird thing. Oh, and then, so this is right when he's pushing the NOS, right? I got to remember from the last minute, in the last recording session, I got to go back. A lot has happened since then. So yeah, he pushes the NOS. That's what creates all these problems with the car, and then he creates the thing falling out the bottom. And yeah, that's when he flies past Dominic's car, and then we just get this close-up of him watching him pass.
I feel like
very
that's
ominous.
He seems mad that he's currently losing, but I think in his heart he's a little disappointed because he knows that he went too early.
Yeah.
Because he about to beat all Dom Toretto and that's Nas apparently.
Okay, that's Nas. I was wondering what that was.
Very quiet Nas.
But that's when he passes.
So sweaty.
You have very, very sweaty, very shiny, very happy and giddy Mr. Brian here, just super excited that he just passed Dominic. Like, so what does he think he's going to, what do you think is going to happen if he does win this race?
My guess is he would get $6,000 and maybe Dom's respect, but I don't know. Good question.
That's kind of my question. Like, that's kind of what I'm wondering too, is that it would, so I guess the reason I'm asking is, do you think that it's better for him to get second place?
Yeah, probably, because otherwise he embarrasses Dom and he doesn't get let in because, I mean, the man Vin Diesel can't lose a fight in his movies. I feel like the character Dominic Toretto can't lose a race unless something bad happens or like it's sabotaged. Does he lose any races fairly in any of these movies?
Fairly? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the closest might be the end of 7 when they like go down the road and it's not really a race, but then they part ways, and that's a tie.
I don't think anybody from the family loses fairly. Pretty sure. Oh wait, no. Except no, one person does in this movie, but that's like it. Mm-hmm. He also loses his life, but that's different.
Yeah. Car life same.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, to these guys, probably the same thing. But yeah, so I don't think anybody really loses fairly, except for Jesse. And then I think that this is just, I mean, maybe this is this is the first out of 2 times where, I guess because he's not in the family, it doesn't matter, but where somebody, has a win. Oh, I guess, do they have like who wins at the end of the movie? Do they have a winner?
Doesn't Dom crash?
He does, but like, did they have? They both crossed the train tracks at the same time. Is that not what the finish line was supposed to be?
Then I think it would have been a tie.
Is that the story arc between their relationship? Is that they're equals?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're in love and they fall in love in they kiss in air. I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. So we go on to the secret. I mean, he's very secretive in his car, right? So we have the NOS underneath the passenger seat. The passenger sits on a bomb, but we have the button that triggers said NOS inside the hazard lights button.
So he never can have a hazard. He can never be like an Uber driver obstructing traffic to deliver something. He's just gonna like fucking speed down the road.
That was a very specific reference. Is there some pent up frustration
Yes,
here?
God damn it! Trying to get to a show in the city, and there's an Uber driver stopped in the middle of the road, and I can't get around. Just let me park my damn car.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so the begs the question. Yeah, is this serve as two different things? Can he actually push it all the way in and it work, or is this just fully replaced to be a button for NOS, a NOS button? I mean, it is an emergency in this case, right? He's gonna lose.
Well, I mean, judging by like, so Dom hits the NOS and wins, and then like a callback to 18 minutes ago when Brian's going really fast in a straight line and crashes for no reason or spins out for no reason. He kind of spins out for no reason again. So I feel like if he didn't NOS, he could have still won.
So yeah, that's a really, really big point. So for anybody who has ever been in a car race of any sort, no matter if it's just from stoplight to stoplight, if you start skidding out and spinning out at the beginning of the race, you're not even going to get close. Like there's not even like a chance.
No way.
So how he caught up and still passed Dominic, maybe that's how he gained the respect. Because that's crazy.
Was that just not with the NOS assist though?
Well, he was right behind him. So if we go back to here, he's right here before he even uses the NOS. Or I guess like as he's using it. But like still, if that's a fast enough car, which evidently it's Dom has a very fast car, then this should have never even been close. Yet it was. And the NOS took him over and he was able to actually do the pass, which is insane in and of itself. This is wait.
What's happening here?
What is this? I don't know when this is. This must be they've it must be Dom hits the NOS and then passes. By the way, hits the NOS. That's a new TikTok trend, right? That's like a new dance move, hitting the NOS. They're bringing all kinds of things from the 80s, 90s and beyond back. Like we got to bring something like this back. Anyway, so I think he hits it and passes Brian to win, and I think this is after the finish line, and yes, Brian is again kind of skidding out and going out of control.
Bad at going fast, despite it being in the title of the fucking movie.
It's either that or that's the smoke coming out. It looks like the smoke from the tires, but the smoke coming out is from the car because, as we know, he blows it the heck up. Also, by the way, the fact that there are still people here at the end of the race is just, I mean, I know it's like beating a dead horse, but it's insane. There's got to be so many people for this to be a thing.
Well, it came up in the chat here, and we brought up last week. This is a quarter mile, but it takes forever.
Right.
Like Alvaro actually had the stats for how long this race would have been.
Like 8 point something miles or something?
Yes, something crazy like that. But it's supposed to be what, like 4 blocks, 3 blocks?
If that, yeah.
So maybe people are still there at the end, but well,
a lot of people.
In a future minute, there's so many cars leaving, so maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we have, I think he's done skidding out, and then we have the car just smoked. Quite literally smoked.
Is it functioning here?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, it comes back in a bit, but I was in the impression, until I saw it come back, that this car was just like screwed at the moment and immovable under its own power.
So, as we see, I think still in this minute, he does drive it all the way back to the finish line. It takes him a little bit, but I think he does drive it all the way back to the finish line. This is him just, adrenaline pumping, and he's just, NOS is running through his veins at this point.
He's breathing like he just came.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what NOS is.
Just heroin, essentially.
Sure.
Yeah, so from what I understand is most of the time when you're like going through stuff like this, unless something catastrophic happens, you can still drive the car. One, you probably shouldn't, and I would say, actually, I'm just gonna say you shouldn't. But two, it's just, it's running on whatever is still vital that's working. But yeah, we're at the point where he's just not having a good time. So they all turn around apparently and drive back to what is the finish line, which is what we have here. And Dom gets out and has his party, his little party, and grabs the cash.
And everyone's so stoked to see him get back. And then, God, this scene is so funny.
You know what this scene is a rip off of?
What?
Is the end of Top Gun when Maverick and Merlin come home and they land on the carrier and they're greeted by all the people, all the deck crew, and this is where Iceman says to Maverick, "You can be my wingman anytime." They just redid that scene here. Yeah.
That's not gonna work for audio, but that's all I really remember about Top Gun.
I think it came through. I think they'll know what it is. Yeah. This is this is the end of this minute. So they just drive in and they have all the people here. I mean, it's this whole minute is just a race, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but it is interesting how it all kind of came together.
Yes. And
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what else to say about this minute.
The car go fast, car spin out, car go faster, other car wins, Dom hooray. I think that. Yeah, and then crowd of people, lots of people hanging out, 8.5 quarter mile.
An 8.5 mile quarter mile. Yeah, I think the next few minutes are much better than this, but he's met by everybody. Is this Edwin pulling up next to him? It's got to be, right?
Yeah, probably.
There's a lot of cars. If you just look all the way down the road, there's so many cars here. Jesus. I don't know. Anyway, do you have any other notes for this minute?
I don't. I've literally touched on all of them.
There's not really much here. Well, yeah, so then we'll have a little bit of the banter at the beginning. It'll be fine. But this
they also don't all have to be marathons.
They don't all have to be super long. I think people are going to expect something like this, though. So, like, some of these minutes are just going to be, race minutes, and that's going to be okay. I would say that if you haven't watched the visual part of this podcast, this might be the one, because we do reference a lot of the weird CGI and green screening happening. If I'm assuming nobody really sees that when they're watching the movie, because these are like really quick cuts. If you ever freeze weird old movies and stuff like this, it might ruin it for you. I don't recommend it, because like this is what we're seeing. We're seeing the weird PlayStation 1 graphics going on behind all this. It just looks weird, and yeah, that's what we got. This the Fast and the Furious 2001.
Can you go to the scene where the 3 cars are coming in again, please?
This one.
Yes. So where's the 4th car? Like, what was the place in the end of the race? So was it
Where's
Dom?
Edwin?
Was it Dom, Brian, Edwin, 4th guy, or 4th guy Edwin? Was Edwin last?
So it's impossible to know, because I don't think they show the white car during the race, like ever. They show. So he must have. Maybe he's in 4th the whole time. I don't know. But they show, as we saw in the last minute, they show Brian passing Edwin, and that's when he says the famous line, "Monica." and then he's up against Dom already. So we don't see this other guy. I think through the entire race.
Shows up, plays PlayStation, loses $2,000, goes home, no one notices.
Who knows? Maybe he's just a rich guy just out here to hang with the boys. He doesn't care about $2,000.
I mean, we'll see that nobody seems to care about the $2,000.
Yeah, right. It just kind of happens. But yeah, that is minute 21 right here in the 60-second car, the series that covers the entire Fast and the Furious. Once again, we are live on twitch.tv/Danotage every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. PST. Come hang out with us. Come hang out in the chat. There's a bunch of people just having a good time. And if you want to watch the visual element that is not live, you can do that over at youtube.com/Danotage. Or check us out on all of your favorite podcasting apps. Go to the link tree, click it on all the things, and make sure to follow us at Overcord on all socials and Danotage here on the other socials. And with that, I'll see you all next time.
Family.